I'm a mother of a mixed child. Okay, I'm not here to teach my son racism. I'm here to teach my son to be a productive member of society. I'm here to teach him to be a good man, a good human being, not a good black. I'm teaching him to be a good human being. That's it.
This is literally what mixed children, particularly with white mothers, are fucking talking about. Y'all raise these mixed children and children who are adopted by white families that don't understand you cannot treat your child like they are white.
She gotta stop being so mad. Let me go ahead.
When the world is going to treat them like the race that they are.
Why not? Why not raise your kid to be a productive member of society?
I mean, because the other side of the party is going to say, well, you don't have a regular child. You have a black child. Exclamation marks. So you have to raise them differently, and you have to teach them about all their history and racism and slavery, so that way that can help them. I guess like that's how they're looking at it. But like, I mean, my question is, does one trump the other? And if I don't focus on the black history or the slavery, does that say he won't be as successful or he won't be a great person?
Nah, he'd be more successful because he got less niggas around him.
I mean, cause like sometimes I just feel like it can be
a crutch.
Because as a parent, we know that you can do all you want when you raise your child. Once they become of age, they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do regardless. You dig what I'm saying? You just hope that you gave enough foundation to where they come back. So my thing is, if he wants to delve into that heavily as he get older, so be it. But I don't think like Malcolm X pounded him in the head with like, you black, you're a slave. Like, I don't think that. Oh man, I don't know if that's the best way to go all the time. Because sometimes he might come up just grunty, like angry. I don't want him to be angry at people. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Now, when you put it that way, when we lose the teaching the culture, let's change the culture to something else, right?
Okay.
Let's change the culture to, you want to teach him about his last name.
Okay.
And his forefathers and with his last name.
Okay.
If it's something that's advantageous, you would want to teach it to him, right?
Correct.
I'm not quite sure how advantageous teaching him about a struggle would be at this day and age.
And I think that's the line, because like you want it to be not, I guess, forgotten, or you at least want to know how it started. Like I get really confused. So
what are you supposed to take? You're supposed to teach your 8-year-old when he comes home at some point?
See the police run. Like, yes, you got to teach him as an 8-year-old. You got to teach your son, and it's his son. So you got to teach him like, yeah, you see police.
You teach the police. You see the police run. No, real talk. If you see the police, you got to respect the police.
Right? See, I don't disagree. That should be. You lead with kindness. So yes, you lead with that respect and that kindness from the beginning. And a lot of times that leads to de-escalating those situations.
Right. And I'm a firm believer for everybody. I think everybody should be able to protect themselves as far as fighting with their hands. I think that's a human, like, natural thing.
Correct.
And with that comes confidence. And I don't think you have to do certain things to prove your manlyhood too much.
Okay.
Once you're confident in who you are, right? So I'm definitely presenting that first before anything else, because I think that's how I was taught. And that's why I kind of like, I don't really go for none of I understand that racism exists and all of those things, but I also understand that, you just can't deny if I'm better. So let me just work on trying to be better. And then like the racism stuff, like whenever that's going to affect me, it affects me.
I actually like that. I'm just going to put myself in a situation where I'm the best in the room. Period.
Right. Let me just be the best.
And if I do that, then everything's gonna fall in place regardless
Right.
of
And then
who's
at the
in
end of the
charge,
day,
black or white.
right. At the end of the day, me, because I can get a little arrogant. At the end of the day, the very end of the day, I'm gonna be like, and I'm black. But I'm not leading off with it. I'm not leading off with it. Not at all.
I guess it's just amplified because she's a white mother with a black
Right.
child. So I guess maybe people tend to get a little more browed because I don't know if every black household is also teaching like Uber slavery, Black history information anyway.
I think that's an old school thing. I think that's an old school thing. Nobody's doing that nowadays. Come on, bro. You're not leading off with that shit. You sound stupid.
Nowadays,
Like, you're not leading off with that. Come on, man.
some people are though, son.
I am
Like,
leading off with the stock market, investments, and how we gonna make some bread. That's it. To keep this family name going. That's what I'm leading off with.
Correct now, but some people are leading off with like, "Hey, we black. The world is against us. Everybody hates you, and you have to be on guard all the time."
Those people in poverty, and not necessarily in their pockets neither.
Hey, yo, shut up.
They're in poverty in their mind.
Shut up.
That's
I don't
why they
think
still
you can say
teaching that
that.
shit.
Hey, yo, I'm not gonna say it like that, but yeah, I think what you said. I ain't gonna say that's why he's still teaching that shit.
I'm not teaching that
But-
before I start teaching leverage, finance. I don't
See,
come on.
no, I absolutely, I don't disagree. I disagree. I don't disagree. I'm
I
sorry.
don't want you to feel like you have a built-in excuse of why you haven't succeeded. And what happens is, to me, when you do shit like that, you create the crutch. You
That's what I'm
create the built-in excuse.
And that's the part I'm worried about. Like, 'cause where's that line of me teaching you, or can I possibly be creating like a governor on you for your life? Like, you can't.
That's exactly
you
what you're creating. But
No,
think
you
about
go.
how you're creating it. In life, there's wins and losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna win every single day, right?
Correct.
So the moment a nigga loses, the first thing he gonna think is like, see, because I'm
My
black.
name Tyrone. God damn it.
Because I'm black. That's what
Yeah,
my
okay.
mom was talking about. That's what my
Okay,
dad
see.
was talking about.
And that's the part I don't like, and that's the part I'm not sure if that is what it creates, but sometimes I feel like that's what it creates. Like, I'm all for definitely knowing your history and being aware of it, but I can see how for some it can create a crutch, bro. It's an easy fallback.
Yeah,
It's like a religion. Like, I'm good.
it
Everything
is.
happens
It
because
is.
of this.
But I don't want to take that away from those people. They can have that. Like, they can have that view. The reason why you aren't where you want to be is because of the color of your skin. It is because of slavery. It is because of racism. It has nothing to do with the non-development of skills, not understanding how to deal with people has nothing to do with that. Not having people skills has nothing to do with that. The attitude that everybody's telling you about has nothing to do with that. The only thing it has to do
You
with
said that
is the
attitude.
color of your skin. That's why you're not being successful. And that's what happens when you lead off with teaching about black history in a cynical way.
Speaking of Black history, did you see this thing about Black Lives Matter, bruh? Black Lives Matter has $60 million on hand, but who controls it is unclear. So the Black Lives Matter organization has like 48 hours to disclose where all this money is, because everybody who's involved with it says, I don't know where the money is. The money never came, and we don't have it. I find it really interesting, bruh. But we said that whole BLM movement was bullshit. I think we were saying that though.
Right.
We definitely stood on that. We was like, yo, we're not too sure about this BLM movement, bruh. I'm not buying into that. And then now it come full circle. They're being audited for fraud, basically. I just thought you'd find that interesting.
Yeah, I find anything about fraud interesting. And now, oh man,